According to Sky Italy, serious talks have taken place between Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff and Max Verstappen. They claim it's not just speculation anymore, it's real. Verstappen, they say, wants out of Red Bull and is eyeing a shock move to Mercedes, potentially as early as next season. But while those claims sent shockwaves through the paddock, other outlets quickly pushed back. Sky Sports UK and Autosport both reported that no formal offer has been made to Max. At least, not yet. So what's really going on? Is this just clever posturing? Or is Formula One's biggest bombshell quietly taking shape behind closed doors? Because when Max Verstappen's future is genuinely in question, the entire sport pays attention. This wouldn't just be a high-profile transfer. It could trigger the collapse of Red Bull's recent dominance and signal a new era for Mercedes that seemed unlikely just a year ago. Digging deeper, there are signs this isn't just smoke and mirrors. Industry insiders say Max's management team has already started exploring the sponsorship implications of a Mercedes switch. The Verstappen-Mercedes pairing could unlock massive commercial opportunities, deals big enough to reshape F1's marketing landscape. That financial potential makes this move even more appealing to both sides. And while the public narrative remains carefully measured, multiple sources suggest Mercedes has already assigned internal resources to plan for a potential Verstappen arrival. From sponsorship modelling to reshaping their technical priorities and even restructuring internal dynamics, there's a real strategy forming behind the scenes. In a sport full of rumour and misdirection, this level of concrete preparation usually signals something serious. This may not just be leverage or power games anymore, this might actually be happening. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a major F1 development. Now let's rewind to what set the rumour mill ablaze. It all started when Sky Italia dropped a bombshell. According to their sources, talks between Max Verstappen and Toto Wolff have moved beyond informal chatter. This isn't just interest, it's structured dialogue. Reportedly, Mercedes has already sketched out the framework of a potential deal, with Verstappen's management fully involved. The only snag? A divided Mercedes board that hasn't yet given full approval. But almost instantly, Sky Sports UK and Autosport tried to downplay the noise. Their reporting emphasised that no formal offer has been submitted and Verstappen hasn't committed to leaving Red Bull. Dutch journalist Eric van Haren, known for his ties to Jos Verstappen, echoed the same view. Mercedes is interested, but there's no deal on the table. Yet here's what everyone's missing. No one is denying the conversations are happening. Even the most cautious outlets admit there's dialogue. So the real question isn't whether Mercedes is talking, it's whether Max is listening. And all signs suggest he is. For years, Verstappen's go-to line has been, "I'm contracted to Red Bull through 2028. But at the Austrian Grand Prix, he said something very different. "I control my own future." That shift in language is subtle, but massive. It moves the tone from commitment to leverage, and insiders believe Max is now wielding that leverage deliberately. Why? Because Red Bull is no longer the fortress it once was. Between the internal power struggle between Christian Horner and Helmut Marko, Adrian Newey's departure and looming uncertainty over the 2026 Honda engine project, Verstappen has plenty of reasons to hedge his bets. And let's not forget the rumoured performance clause in his contract, confirmed by multiple outlets including The Race and AMUS. If Max is fourth or lower in the standings by the summer break, he has the right to walk away. It's not automatic, but it's there, and Red Bull can't ignore it. Even the timing of this story is strategic. We're just days away from the British Grand Prix, and suddenly this storm breaks? It's not a coincidence. Mercedes is reportedly trying to pressure George Russell, who's resisting a short-term contract. Russell wants long-term security. Mercedes is only offering a 1+1 deal. So what better way to rattle the cage than to let whispers about Verstappen's availability leak? Whether it's tactical or true, it's working. Russell was asked directly if he knows Verstappen could replace him. His response? That he and Toto have had honest conversations. But no denial, and that speaks volumes. Let's also not forget what lit the fuse to this entire silly season. Lewis Hamilton's move to Ferrari. Without that announcement, we're probably not even talking about Verstappen leaving. But with the seat open and Antonelli still finding his footing in his rookie season, Mercedes has to at least explore every option. And bringing in Verstappen, that would be their nuclear move. Risky, yes, but potentially game-changing. Of course, the danger is obvious. If Mercedes publicly chases Verstappen and fails, they risk alienating Russell. They look desperate, and Red Bull would exploit it at every turn. Christian Horner has already downplayed the rumours, saying, "We know where Max wants to be," but even he hasn't flat out denied the possibility anymore. Because deep down, Red Bull knows they're not in full control of this narrative. You could argue the signs have been there for months. After his win in Bahrain, Max stood on the podium looking strangely distant. In Saudi Arabia, he dodged a question about finishing his career with Red Bull. By Imola, the media frenzy had reached a fever pitch. This isn't a man locked into a future. This is a driver quietly assessing his options. And Toto Wolff, he's never hidden his admiration for Max, and he's long regretted not signing him back in 2014. Red Bull took that leap, nurtured the talent, and built a champion. Mercedes missed once, Wolff doesn't want to miss again. Their 2026 engine project is rumoured to be among the most advanced in the paddock. The simulations are promising. The budget is intact. They've rebuilt the infrastructure. All that's missing is the superstar driver to anchor it. Imagine this: Verstappen and Antonelli in silver in 2026. One seasoned, proven world champion. One future megastar. That's the blueprint. But it hinges on two things: the board signing off the financials, because Verstappen's price tag is enormous, and Max believing Mercedes can deliver a car to match his ambitions. He's not leaving Red Bull's uncertainty for Mercedes nostalgia. He needs proof they're ready to fight at the front again. That's why every word matters. When asked if he'll honour his Red Bull contract, Max said, "It depends what happens." That's not reassurance. That's a warning shot. So keep an eye on Silverstone. If Max dodges questions or refuses to reaffirm his commitment to Red Bull, this story will catch fire. And if Mercedes starts walking back any public denials, it may be less about calming the storm and more about hiding the truth. Because sometimes in F1, rumours are just rumours, and sometimes they're step one in something much, much bigger. Dropping this bombshell right before a marquee race weekend? That's no coincidence. It rattles Red Bull. It puts pressure on George Russell, and it hands Mercedes a powerful strategic advantage. Because even if Max Verstappen never sets foot in Brackley, the mere suggestion that he might is enough to disrupt the entire grid. In Formula One, perception often outruns reality. And right now, the perception is this: Verstappen's future at Red Bull may not be as locked in as we've been led to believe. So what is this really? A legitimate move behind the scenes, or the most high-stakes game of contract poker we've seen in years? Honestly, it could be both. One thing is undeniable: the driver market is no longer calm, it's a live wire. And if Verstappen ever decides to say yes to Mercedes, the ripple effect will be immediate and enormous. Until that moment, every paddock whisper, every vague answer in a press conference, every shift in body language, it all feeds the speculation. Because when the most dominant driver of this generation even hints at change, nobody can afford to blink. So now it's your turn. What do you think? Is Verstappen getting ready to close the Red Bull chapter and turn the page in silver? Or is this just master-level negotiation playing out in plain sight? Let us know in the comments below, and don't go anywhere. Tap the next video on your screen, because this silly season is just getting started, and the next plot twist might be even wilder than this one.